Ella, welcome to my new home studio.
Thanks, Queen. It looks gorgeous in here.
Oh
It's
my
insane.
God.
Stunning.
I just welcomed Ella from her car and she was studying and listening to our last episode.
Yep. I was like, well, I just need a little reminder, a little refresh.
I honestly didn't even do that. I should have done that as the host. What did we say?
It was actually funny listening to us. So this is now part 3, technically.
Yeah, it is part 3. And
crazy.
We were kind of giggling because I told Ella I had lots of notes and then I just showed her the 4 bullet points I had written down.
Like no notes.
We don't need notes.
No notes. We don't need any notes.
We go to lunch, dinner, sleepovers, and we don't need notes. We just talk, which is the point of this. So first of all, how are you? How's your spirit?
Spirit's good. I feel grateful to be able to do like what we do, and I feel excited for the holidays, and I feel like I'm at a point where I'm embracing slower times and embracing just like life more. I feel like before I was so like go, go, go. And I'm like, it's okay if I'm not traveling for 4 weeks. Like, we're going to be okay. Like, I'm having more of like acceptance towards that and like slower moments and stuff. So
that's good.
Yeah, I've been feeling more balanced, I think, which is good.
I think that's really important. I feel like that's something I've been trying to prioritize as well. It is just really difficult in this type of job to maintain consistency.
Right.
You just really never know how things are going to pan out, and you just have to kind of always be ready and on the go, and it can get tiresome, and then you crave like being in the rhythm.
Yep. And it's hard to like plan anything, and it's like little things like my cousin was coming into town. I'm like, oh my God, amazing. And she had asked me like months in advance. And I was like, yeah, but I know like it's so hard to plan anything. Like I don't want to like commit and then I have to bail. And then the day of that she was landing, I got message by my agent, urgent. We need you in New York today to shoot with Target tomorrow. And I was like, no, like I'm just like, no, like this was
you
the
did
one
that,
plan.
right?
No, I said no.
Really? You said no.
I said no.
Wait, I didn't even know that.
Because I was on hold with them all week and I had been checking in religiously every day, every week. Like, is this release, or is it booked? About 2 days before her trip here, they were like, it's released. I'm like, okay, phew. Like, I don't have to like bail on my cousin. And then the morning of, she's like, call me urgent. They actually want to book you. You need to get on a flight today. And I'm like, no.
That happened with the supermodels of the world. Like, are they still like someone who's covering Vogue? I don't know who the example would be. I'm so outdated and I'm like going to reference someone who's
Ashley Graham.
Sure, let's say
I talked to her about this.
Let's say Ashley Graham. At that level, do they give her more courtesy of her schedule, or is she still at a beck and call of
I don't think
booking?
so.
Really?
I think she might have more say and more power over like, this is my schedule. She's also a mom. She has kids. And Ashley, if you're listening, sorry if I'm mistaken. Like,
Ashley, if you're listening, you're welcome on the pod
no,
anytime, my girl.
Literally, like, come on the pod. But I think that honestly, I can say just like by talking to her and other people in the industry that have been doing this forever, like, oh, this shit still happens. Like, oh, this still happens. Like, we were going to go to lunch actually, which is crazy to even say, in New York. And Ashley had to cancel the day of when we had it planned for like a week because she had a really big casting come up. And like, I get it. Like, life of a model. Like, she's like, yep, this shit happens. Like, I got to change my whole plan now.
So
and she's like at the top. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Something that I'm dying to talk to you about that I feel like we don't even need to like warm up. Like, we're here. We're warm.
Let's
I'm
dive
hot.
in real
Let's
pod.
go. Hi, weight loss drugs. Hey.
Every supplement on the market, every ad I'm seeing, hi.
Literally. And I really valued the conversations that you and I have had just as friends about like how we've seen it and how it's affected us. I've been trying to remind myself, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. I feel like I see it a lot, and
everywhere.
That was hard for both of us. Where are you at with it now?
I've come a long way. I feel like since we last spoke about it, and I think I've come to more of like, everyone's on their own journey. If they want to take it for whatever reason, and if it triggers me, look within. And I don't think other people should be responsible for my own triggers. I think it's easier said than done. I think it's less about the Ozempic thing now, because that was such like a craze and like crazy word and like big like buzzing word. I think it's more about everyone around us is just getting smaller, like from every facet. It's not an industry thing. It's not a celebrity thing. It's every job. It's every field. It's every age group. Everyone's just getting smaller. And so I think that's what's really interesting for me to see, and very like, whoa, especially in my space, being a curve model, being in this space, speaking on body confidence and body positivity and loving your body at any size. It's crazy to look around and feel like you're one of the few left. So like, I'm like, what's happening?
Wait, no, literally, why did I just get a vision of like Ice Age 2? Like, no.
No, if I didn't paint like in a horror film, it's a horror film.
You're like the last one in the house.
I'm the last one standing, everyone. Like, do we even exist? Anyone over a size fucking 10 exists out here?
I feel like too, and I don't want to spend too much time. Like, I don't want to be in the business of like bashing things. I was hoping for more body diversity at the VS Fashion Show. When they did that,
yeah,
I was hoping. I feel like I see on the website, on the socials, like it's been a few years now of like what's looked like real change. Right. But I was hoping for the fashion show, it wouldn't be like so much of a minimal representation.
Right.
And I feel like what's unfortunate is people like us are kind of silenced with the like, well, there was representation, so that's the win. And it's like, why are we still asking for the bare minimum of like a few curve people? I was finishing some work, had it on in the background. I did want to tune in. I did not sit there on my couch like it was an event for me. It's okay if it was free for anyone else. I'm not trying to shit on that. For me, because it was so difficult for me growing up, I didn't want to give it that attention.
Right.
But I did pay attention. I don't really know how to say that.
I know what you're
Do you know what I
saying.
mean?
It wasn't like your Super Bowl anymore.
Correct.
But it was something that you wanted to tap into or
totally.
Tune into. Yeah.
But I felt like it was like, okay, she looks one way. She looks one way. She looks the same. Okay, they've all the same. Okay, now we're at 5 girls have the same body. 6 girls have the same body.
Yeah.
Except like it was like a lot before it was like diversity. And I was
Right.
like, wait.
Right. Yeah. I can agree. I think like, you know, it's hard because as a business too, you're being pulled in a lot of directions. So you're being pulled from 50%, or I don't even know the percentage. Let's say 50 is pushing and in the comments every day, we want inclusivity, we want diversity, this isn't enough. You only have a few token girls, where then you have half of the comments and half of it being like awful, like just like, we want the OG and this isn't what we wanted, and we wanted a Victoria's Secret back and this is not what we called for, like get these girls off the runway, or they're not actual real models. So like actually as a business, taking myself out of being in the industry, it's like, holy fuck, how do you please people? So I think like in their retrospect, in their defense, I guess playing devil's advocate is like they're probably trying to do what they can to please both sides of their community and both sides of their customer base. But with that said, my personal outtake and outlook is like, yeah, it would have been nice to see a little bit more diversity and more like, I was just talking with my friend about this. I miss the supermodel and modeling days where publications and companies wanted to find people and wanted to make someone a star. I think what we're seeing, and I'm really struggling with this, is like the nepotism in the industry is so bad, and a lot of these girls that are so beautiful and stunning and deserving, we're using the same faces a lot of the time, and a lot of them are jumping so many steps in ladders because of who their mom is and their connections. I'm struggling with like, I loved the day where like you would walk into a Starbucks and be like, I want to sign you, and it was an agent, and they like turn this girl into a supermodel. Mm-hmm. Like the days where your server is this like gorgeous like girl where they want to make her into a star.
Right.
Where's that?
Okay, well, I actually have a theory on why I don't think that is the way it is anymore. My assumption looking at the industry would be, we used to live in a world where anytime I say we live in a world, I always think of that chick. I was like, we live in a world.
Yeah, literally.
But my point, previously, it was the America's Next Top Model that had the platform. It was the cover of CoverGirl magazine that had the platform. It was whoever they put in the Maybelline commercial. Like, we relied on those actual brands and publications. They had the power, and whatever they gave to us, we were super excited. It's shifted in, I think, a beautiful way where anyone can create their own platform. You don't have to go to school anymore for journalism, work your ass off, making little money to hopefully one day have a company choose you as their anchor. You can literally just start your own podcast, start putting out your own content, and you can become the best interviewer ever. Like, you can create your own platform. So because of that, and I think we see this, I think these brands and platforms need to choose the person with the most pull and clout and following, if they are a Nepo baby or whatever it is, because they need that. If they can't take randos, because their pull is now less than this one girl's Instagram poll.
Yeah. I think that, and 100% I agree. And on the flip side, I'm so grateful for that and how much it shifted, because I wouldn't be sitting here being able to do what I did had I not taken the leap and like fought for it and, you know, gotten SI and done all those things I did. With that said, I still think there's like the beauty of like modeling in the industry and like the beauty of like putting someone on such a public stage and becoming a star and like turning them into, like, that's so sick to me, and like the art of modeling that we've lost. I think working your way to the top and grinding and posting every day and getting seen is way different than getting plucked because you're a famous family.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know the industry really at all. So you probably know behind the scenes if you're more dialed with like the brands or who's walking. Like, so I can't even like call on honestly that, but I obviously will take your word for it that that happens.
Yeah, because people are like, why is it the same people or the same faces? Like, people are like, what happened in the days where like you would take a bet or a risk on someone and then you turn this girl into a star that you like found working at Starbucks? Like, that's so sick to me.
I wonder though if that was something that was sold to us, and it happened with like Heidi Klum, like it happened with a few people, but I almost feel sometimes like I remember one time coming up just working in this job and trying to build my own platform, talking to Kelty Knight, who I've had on the show and I love. And I don't even know how this came about, but I was like, piece of advice or whatever. And she said, no one's going to make you a star and no one's going to work harder for you than you.
Totally.
And she was like, if you're waiting for someone, because I think we see that in the movies, like, you know, those memes about when I'm in an elevator at 13 and I start singing, hoping the guy next to me is going to like scout me for American Idol, right? Like that, I almost wonder how much that even really existed, you know?
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer that no one will work harder for you. Like, no agent, no, love my team, but like no one will work harder for me in my dreams than I will. And I know that you feel the same way probably. But I just think like talking about the VS show, I would have loved to see a little bit more of like, who's that? This is sick. Like, you know, and then she gets signed to a big agency and like, you know, because like someone took like a chance on her. And I think that would be really cool to see. But yeah, overall, I would have loved to see more inclusivity.
To your point about everything around you, to your point about everyone around you getting smaller and feeling like that's the case.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, we saw obviously with the push of Ozempic and other weight loss drugs. I mean, we're seeing in every vitamin brand, supplement brand, GLP-1, like, and it's great for people that want to do this for their health and their doctors prescribed it, whatever. It's just hard because I'm in this world and this messaging all around loving your body and loving your size at any size, but I'd be lying if I said it's not hard.
Yes.
And I wake up and I'm like, this shit's not easy.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think to your point, I think we've qualified it. Like, if someone wants to take that, I don't view them as less than as a person. I don't want to look down on them. I don't want to judge them. Everyone's on their own journey. Right. And if these drugs had come out when I was 18, I would have taken them. So I don't feel like I'm that far from these people and I don't want to act holier than thou. I think right now we're speaking to the people who are like, I know that for whatever the reason is, like my past triggers morally, whatever I know my future could be, I'm not going to take it, but there's temptation and it's difficult. And so it's like, we're speaking to the people who I'll have random thoughts. Like they sell like GLP-1s in like a gummy. I'm like, it would be so easy for someone to just take that and it not be a thing and no one know. Like, but I'm like, but that's not me. And I refuse to do that because I'm not going to give like body image or a number about my body, like that power. Like, I just think I made a decision. And even though I'll have thoughts and it can be difficult, I, for me, am most aligned with my true self to not do that. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
And that's like what I call on when it's like
Yeah.
left and right. You're seeing now there's like gummies. It's so easy. You don't have to go to the doctor and get all this stuff prescribed. Like,
right. Just over the counter.
Right.
And it's hard when your inner circle might do it or family members might do it. And now you're being pulled in this direction. You're like, and then you're seeing all the compliments and then you're seeing all the responses of everyone saying how good you look. And then it's like, wait, then I, so it's like, wait, what
when
am
they're
I
smaller
supposed to
than you to
do?
begin with and then get even smaller. I'm
Yeah.
like, what does that indirectly say about me?
Yeah. Like you were already small, sis, but holy fuck. To each their own, like I say, I do think it's everyone's like choice.
Us. I would never dare. But
Like,
you know, if you
what's
do it,
going on?
we
But,
love
like,
you.
Like, we love you, like slay, like heart.
Everyone's on their own path. I know that I couldn't because then if I did get smaller, I'd start to obsess over it. And then it would be just open up this whole can of worms that I've healed and really done a great job of like coping with and burying in a good, peaceful way.
I just feel so bad too for like the younger girls and like the youth just seeing this and like on TikTok and reading the comments and like the eating disorder content is just insane right now of like I don't know. It's just like I'm watching it as a bystander and I'm watching the girls I looked up to in the industry and curve and plus size that are all just getting smaller and it's no one's job to stay a certain way to help you make you feel better. But it is weird to like take note of like everyone's shrinking themselves. And you're like, well, then what am I supposed to do? How do I fit in? Is this beautiful? Is this right? Like, it literally turns your thinking and kind of the way you perceive the world upside down when everything around you is changing.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. And to your point about social media, we've talked about this. Like, I have had days where you just see someone getting filler, like, come with me to get my lip filler, like, come with me to get Botox, or using a different filter, or I'll see a video of a girl just talking about something completely different, like maybe they're talking about like a really important thing they learned from therapy, but I look and they've got 3 filters on and that's why they look so beautiful. But then when I take my video, I'm like, well, I'm not going to use any filters, and now I feel like my footage looks janky and like not good, you know? It is so hard to not want to change your face with social media, with plastic surgery, with the weight loss drugs, with everything we're seeing. I just like, it is so hard. I have days where I'm like, could my top lip be bigger?
Right.
And then I'm like, no, stop it.
Right. I know. I'll never forget, I had dinner with a few friends who, funny enough, I'm not friends with them anymore because this conversation is so not my vibe. Probably 6 years ago. It was around college. And I remember we went around the table and one of the friends had asked, if you guys could change anything about yourself, like any surgery, what would you do? And I remember being like, in that moment, you saw that TikTok where you're like, when you realize these people aren't your people anymore.
Yeah.
That was my moment. I was like, these aren't my vibe. This is not my friend. Like, I don't even want to think about what I would change about myself. And ever since then, because at that point, I was the only one that answered nothing. Like, everyone was like this, or like, I would want this or this. Like, oh my God, I've always wanted this. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was so grateful to be in a mindset where like, I didn't have anything to say. Like, and they were like trying to get something out of me. Like, really, come on. Like, everyone has something.
No, that's too far. Like,
and I
come
was
on,
like,
Ella.
Sis,
That's crazy.
are you trying to say something?
I
Like,
know.
bitch, I'm perfect. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's when I realized that like the people I was surrounding myself with, I really needed to change. And that was in college. So I'm so grateful that I have friends like you that we would like never talk like that or say that. And it puts your head in such a bad like spiral of like, well, then what should I change? And then you go home and you look in the mirror and you're like, well, she wanted to change her eyelashes and she wanted to change her chin filler. And I was like, wait, what is that? Like, some of the procedures I didn't even know existed. And I was like, fuck, like this is so toxic way of thinking. So watch who you surround yourself if you're listening to this, and like see how people make you feel and what are your conversations. And I think that's like key too.
I feel really grateful to have not any friends come to mind that I think talk about themselves or shit on themselves so much, like that I feel so grateful to kind of have filtered that naturally, or been grateful to have best friends from my life who have evolved with me. And like, you know, I think that's really special. But when I think about the visual of a group of women sitting around a table, spending their quality time together, talking about what they would want to change about their appearance, I follow it with the thought, men would never do that. Men would never sit around. No, they would talk business ideas
And how much money?
Yeah, how much money. They would talk how to collaborate. They're talking about that. I once saw like a meme that was really powerful, and it was something like this visual of like women. Society has women face the mirror so that they hyperfixate on how they can look better, change better. And then the other graphic was like men, like out in the world, making money, being successful, doing all this stuff. And so I feel like for people struggling with, you know, the internalized fat phobia of, but I should be skinnier, all that stuff. Like, if it's hard for you to shift from that because it's been so ingrained in you, I think there's like a feminist way to look at it of like, men don't do this. I know I'm smart and talented and I have things to offer this world beyond looking perfect. So like that I think can be empowering, and that is empowering for me.
100%. It's as simple as we don't put pressure on men to look a certain way, and we don't put pressure on men to have a certain body size or shape.
You said something the other day about social media that when you said it, I was like, wait, that is so true. Like, it's so simple. And I say it all the time, but then you took it to the next level of really being like, no, everything. So please enlighten us.
So let me break this down as simple as can be. Nothing online is real. Everything you see is fake. And it's crazy when I mean that wholeheartedly with every fiber and bone in my body.
I can feel it.
Every single thing you see online is fake. Or it's over fabricated. Or it's positioned with the best posing, the best lighting, the best filter, the best little tweaks that you can't really tell are real, but they're real. Every single thing you see is fake. And it's sad because we live online, like in our phone, and we scroll. What are the damages it's doing to our brain? Like, are we going to get notified in like 20 years from now, like the damages it did on our brain and like altered our actual brain chemistry, the way that we view ourselves? Like, I'd be curious what the scientific like evidence is there. It's just sad because I'm at a point now at 27 where I feel like confident and happy. And I'm like, you know, I know now, right? Like I see that, I'm like, I know that's fake. Or like I can see Photoshop from a mile away. I can see the edits from a mile away. I know, being in the industry, I know people's camera rolls when they take photos on vacation. It's 500 photos and they choose one they like out of 500. So like, it's the best posing. It's the best angling. I know, being a model, that I could be really more photogenic than what I look like in real life because that's my job. Like, I understand being in it and being a bystander now, what this does to people, but someone on the outside who maybe doesn't know, it's so easy to be tricked. Mm-hmm. It's so easy.
I even feel that way in this job where I, quote, should know how to take a good photo or whatever it is, and feeling like if there's certain content I make from just like an aesthetic perspective, like the lighting, the coloring, the quality, I'm like, why doesn't it look like this other girl's? Like, how does she do that? You know, I'm in it, and still I'm like, there is this unattainable level of like perfecting the portrayal of your life. And it's, even if people are not influencers, think about it. You plan your outfit for the festival because you're like, well, I'm going with my friends and I want to take pictures of the outfit. So like, before you even get to taking the photo, like exactly what you're wearing and how you're going to look, like we're all putting so much effort into that. And I feel like I, for a while, was really flustered about style. I'll never forget packing for going to Paris with Max. And I literally spent an embarrassing amount of time because I was like, well, we're going to be in Paris. It's once in a lifetime. I have to have perfect outfits. Right. Like the outfits got to be good. Like, and I think someone said to me when I was talking to a friend, they were like, this is not normal. Like for normal people, they were like, it's in this industry where everything has to be like new and current and like, you know,
trendy
I just,
and hot and perfect. And
yeah, I just felt like I've seen myself be like, I got to keep up with all the new content, all the this, all the that like, yeah, but I lost my tangent. But from even taking the photo, like things ahead of time have gone into, oh, and this would be a really cute thing to capture.
100%. And I think it's scary because we are comparing ourselves to an image that doesn't exist. And so imagine comparing yourself to something and wanting to look like them and wanting to have their hair color, down to their skin complexion, down to their outfit, down to their haircut. Like, but it's not real. Like the coloring is edited, like the lighting is shifted, the skin is blurred out, but in real life it's not blurred skin. Like down to like every crevice and inch of their body can be tweaked and altered. I mean, posing alone, the power of posing, I can literally tweak my entire body to look different in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm, same.
Like tweak, like literally a shift and a camera angle shift. Your entire physique can go from here to here to here. Like everything can be tweaked. So when you're comparing yourself and you're wishing and you're wanting to look like this object in person, and you take the photo, and maybe back in the day you would cut it out, or someone's body as goals and you'd put it on your wall, and I wish I looked like her. It's not real. Mm-hmm. So like, it's so scary to think that we are trying to be something that doesn't exist.
Yeah. It's just like we're kind of running around in circles and we're never going to actually have it.
And then hear me out. Even if you meet someone in person and you argue me, Ella, no, they're real. I'm person and I wish I looked like them. Do they have their hair done? Their nails done? What procedures have they done? They go to a tanning bed every week. They get their lashes done every other Tuesday. They get their nails, like the nose is done. This is done. They had Botox and filler last week. So yeah, you're comparing yourself to someone in person, but like, is that real?
It's not normal upkeep.
Like it's
right.
not.
And
the maintenance.
You've talked about this actually before on this show, but I think it always hits is even when there is that person that is like 10 out of 10, slaying, goals, gorgeous. You've told me that you've met a lot of those people. I mean, this is your industry. And the happiness we're promised that comes with the skinniest body or the prettiest face doesn't always come with, getting to that finish line. I've had supermodels on this podcast who've said, I did everything I was supposed to. I lost the weight, I counted the calories, blah, blah, and I was so unhappy.
Yeah, even the most aesthetically perfect people that you deem to be perfect and society deems to be the beauty standard are some of the most unhappy, insecure people I've met. I've been on set with some of the most aesthetically beautiful people I've ever seen, and they hated every photo. They hated the shoot. They were in the worst mood. They didn't want to talk to anyone. They were on their phones at the break and really unhappy how they looked and overanalyzing their body in the mirror at every moment we could. And it made me sad because I'm like, you are the it person. You are the beauty standard. You are what people dream and die to look like, and you're not even happy. And so I think I started to shift my perspective of like, and I'm not saying this to boost my own whatever, but like I would be in a room as the biggest person in the room and by far the most confident free. And I would even have like, you're so confident and all this stuff. And like, I would get judgment or criticism from other girls that were thinner. And I think it maybe triggered other people, or like, why is this girl so confident and she's the biggest in the room? And it really shifted my perspective early on, jumping into this industry, not knowing shit about it, was like, oh, it like the smallest person in the room isn't the most confident. Like the smallest girl in the room isn't the happiest. And I couldn't wrap my head around that because our whole life it was like, get like that, get like this girl, and your dreams will come true. Everything will be great. Life will be so easy and everyone will want you. She doesn't even want herself. Like she's not even happy with herself.
That is the most insane realization I think all of us hopefully will have, especially as women, is what we've been told to focus on and prioritize does not actually equate to the happiness that we were promised. And if anything, it keeps us in that cycle, which by the way, makes other people a lot of money. The diet industry is $1 billion industry. And if there were no people who were unhappy with their bodies or trying to obtain something that didn't exist, they wouldn't be making so much money. But I feel grateful to have had, I feel like I've internalized what you just said. And even when I have those days where I'm like, oh, this girl, or oh, that body, and like it comes back because I'm a human being, I'm like, that's not the key to life. Those are not my priorities. Those are not my values. I think once you can get really clear, which you have as well, on like who you are and what you stand for and what is important to you, it's just like, that actually it starts to look less enticing and attractive, like the pursuit of thinness and the pursuit of being the most beautiful person in the room.
Totally. And when you want to get thinner and shrink yourself and be smaller, ask yourself why. Why? Is it to fit in more? Is it to get more male attention or validation? Is it to get more validation from your family and friends? Is it maybe just to feel better in your clothes? That's one answer. But like, ask yourself why. Because I think when you dissect your why, you're not going to be so quick to just like pick up a drug and like quick to run to the pharmacy and like do something quick. Because if you really hone in on your why and like, why do you want to get smaller? Like check yourself on it.
I'm starting to feel like this episode should literally be geared for people who are feeling the pressure to like lose weight and start dieting and do all this stuff that maybe in their heart they're like not wanting to do.
Right.
And this can be there for them to be like, you don't have to take that path. You don't have to go do that again, like diet again, like feel miserable again that you feel, and then restart, you know?
Right.
I guess some questions I think we should talk about are like, okay, so then what happens when people in their life are like, but I think you looked better when you looked this way, or just giving them judgment and not accepting it? And then another question would be like, I am a size 10. Like, I'm always a large. I'm always a whatever. Like whereas when I was in middle school or high school, I would have been like, I'm a small, like trying to be those things. So maybe you could share a little bit more about how once you got your confidence, what about when people in your life didn't align with that, and how have you stayed steadfast?
As simple as have boundaries, like with family members, with friends, like for anyone that has made me second guess my confidence, second guess my worth, second guess my image, my body, my shape. Like I would have to not cut them out, but I would have to build a boundary. Like I have come so far in the way I think about myself and perceive myself and feel confident and know that there's so much more important things in our lives than our bodies and what size jeans I wear. Once I got to that point, if you altered that or challenged me on that and didn't make me feel good about that, I'm going to distance myself. Like that's my boundary. Like I don't need to be around people that make me like second guess it. Or like I've had family members constantly talk about food where I would sit down at dinner and they are talking about the calories, how full they are, what they're eating. I shouldn't order this. I should order this. And I had to literally like bring it up, but like distance myself from that conversation. I will not partake in those conversations anymore. I think before I would do it to make other people feel comfortable, I will actually not answer you. Like it's not a conversation I'm partaking in. So talk to the wall. Like I'm good.
I'm obsessed.
Get the salad or fries, bitch. Get what you want, but talk to the wall. I don't care to talk about it. Like shut up.
Literally.
No, but I mean that like in a good way. But so I would definitely like watch who you're surrounding yourself with, make those boundaries, make it very clear of like where you want to have this conversation and partake in this conversation. I think. What was your other question?
My other question was just about like the acceptance of our own size and our set point weight and where our body is when we are fueling ourselves and not killing ourselves to work out and diet. Like we all have a set point weight that works best for us. Mm. That's why we talk about health at every size, but that can be difficult when, for example, myself, like I used to be someone who would get clothes too small as motivation to fit into them. Mm. And like I've come so far that I don't blink twice at whatever size I am, or if I need to go up in a pair, like because it's an internal thing. You don't walk around with the size of your clothes on the back. Your jeans don't say 30 or 27, or your dress doesn't say 10, 4, 8. It's an internal mind fuck. So like I've also gotten to the point where I'm like, I just want clothes that fit me and make me feel good. I don't give a shit what the made up number or label says on the inside. Mm-hmm. And the connotation about that is made up as well. Mm-hmm. So that's how I've coped with it. How about you?
I'm really good at like releasing. Like I just did a whole detox on my closet, got rid of like 11 bags. And the girl that was helping me was like, you're the best person I've ever worked with that has gotten rid of so much stuff. Like you're good at just getting rid of. Because when you close a door, when you get rid of something, you're making room for something else. So when I close a door, I'm not unhappy because I know another one will open. When I get rid of the pair of jeans or the clothes because they're too small, I'm not unhappy. Like I know more will come. Like, so, and it doesn't matter. I'm also someone like, I think body positivity gets a bad rep that like, you can never lose weight and we hate weight loss. Like, I'm not that person. Like I've been an athlete my whole life. Like I love working out and feeling good. I'm also at a point where health is my number one priority. So I see my OBGYN. I'm taking my PCOS under control. It's unfortunate that I can literally gain weight in a snap of a finger by smelling pizza because I have PCOS, where I can work out. My doctor said you could work out till you're cold in the face every day and not lose weight because of the way my body's structured, and the way my body produces certain things. And so like, I struggle with that. And so like I'm working out and doing things that I feel good. And if I wanted to publicly say online that my best self is 10 pounds lighter, I shouldn't be shamed for it. Mm-hmm. And I don't want other people to feel shamed. With that said, I think it comes to a point of being the best version of you. And you being your best version looks different than mine. Your best version might be at a 10 or it might be at an 8 or it might be at a 12. I have no idea what your best version looks like. But I know what mine is, right? And like, you can keep it personalized to yourself. You can share it with others if you want, but like our best self looks so different. And I love movement and working out. And I've always been an advocate for it. I post my training and I do hot yoga and I love movement. I love walking every day. Like that makes me feel good. So your own journey is your own journey, and don't let anyone else take that away from you. And don't feel shame if you talk to your doctor and you want to get, healthier for you. I mean, like I'm not here to shame you to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love this clarification because I think there's truth to it. If I was still in my binge eating disorder and I was binge eating and I was really over indexing on like the food I was giving my body to the point of discomfort, like, and I was gaining weight because of that, like I would know I'm doing a habit that's mentally taking a toll. Like that's not what's best for me. I think it's this. It's not I need to look a certain way to appease what society is saying. It's literally close your freaking eyes and say, how do I feel in my body and my skin, the way that I move? Like, how do I feel?
Totally.
And if you need to follow that North Star, whether you need to gain weight and muscle because your body needs that, or the opposite, like it's just so important that it's done for the right reasons and for yourself.
Right.
Because that's fulfilling and satisfying, and that's the most important thing.
And that's why I say to question yourself on the why. Like if you want to get smaller and lose weight, great. Why? Like ask yourself why.
If it's just because, well, I should just never be above 150 on a scale.
Right. And I used to be this in middle school, and all my friends are this small, and I have to get smaller because I actually saw this article that more people are da-da-da. Like, you have to, like, break it down.
Yeah.
And, like, because celebrities are doing it, because other people in your life are doing it, and they're getting smaller, and you see the praise they're getting, isn't the best reason. Because everyone is individual, and everyone has individual goals and their individual best.
I love this.
Me too.
This has been so lovely. I love you.
Should I say my exciting thing coming out next month?
Oh, please do.
So I haven't shared this yet, but a
Real Pod exclusive.
I'm really excited about it. So one of my long-term partners, whom I love so much, Kapari Beauty, I'm so excited. We just did a photo shoot the other day, and they called to tell me that in December, I think December 1st or 2nd, my photo, my face will be in all of the Ulta stores across the country.
Stop it.
Which is insane.
Well, by the time this comes out, it will be there.
I know.
Go to your local Ulta and find Ella.
Yes, find Ella. I think I'm going to do a little challenge, Ella on the shelf. So so get ready.
Why is that hilarious?
Because Ella on the shelf. Tell me if you see me in your Ulta, take a photo, might win a prize. I don't know yet.
That is so exciting.
Thanks.
I just am so happy for you. And that is a brand that you've literally worked with and love using, and you love their team. And those are the best partnerships because it's so genuine. And I'm so happy for you.
I'm so excited. It's my first like beauty campaign that will be out. Like,
can I come with you when you see your first one? I feel like I need to witness the moment.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Kapari product?
Yes, their sheer mist. It's like this spray oil based. That's stunning. Like, I use their like rose gold sheer glaze, I think it's called, and you just spray it on your body.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Well, congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks, queen.
This was so good and special. We can never have too many reminders and conversations
totally
about how we're beautiful the way that we are, and we're valid in feeling like we're struggling or overthinking because of, you know, what we see online. And at the end of the day, just encouraging people to get really real with themselves about how they're feeling, what they need, what their body needs, and not feeling the pressure to do something that you're seeing someone else do just because you think you need to.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm just so excited for people to listen to this, and I hope it fills your cup and makes you feel good in your skin, and just know that you're not alone, because we all struggle with this, and even us talking about it, we always struggle. So it is very common, and we're going to get through it together. And I'm excited to just keep chatting more about it.
Yay. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, queens. Bye.
Cute.